Tyler all the time when I lived here. I always said I hate Drake, but I love his music. Like I will always hate on Drake.
I see again. I think you're wilding. I think with Tiny Desk, I really do think I'm sad because I would have loved to see X. I would have seen how X.
Drake should have a terrible Tiny Desk.
What? How?
Not Drake. X. Half of X's music is not conducive in the same way that like you could say Tyler was less conducive to a Tiny Desk performance. Half of X's music in general would not translate well to this performance, and the other half, I feel like really wouldn't stand out.
But that's how I felt about Meg. I didn't think Meg could do a Tiny Desk. I heard Meg shit. I'm like, wow, she did fucking incredible. And I thought her style, her beats, all that. I didn't think it was worth it. I didn't think it would be good. But she went on it. She did it. I'm like, what the fuck? This is great.
She's a professional. X has a lot of music that he could perform on Tiny Desk. He could do the whole question mark and all of 17.
Nobody is killing a Tiny Desk more than Anderson .Paak and Bruno Mars.
I disagree that.
Nobody is doing better.
Because I think Jack Harlow had a better Tiny Desk than Anderson .Paak. I think Rick Ross Tiny Desk was great. The only thing that took back from him was his backup vocalist kind of going a little bit too crazy. Other than that, Rick Ross had a great Tiny Desk. I would say better than Anderson .Paak's. I would say the Migos Tiny Desk was a lot better than Anderson .Paak's. And again, their styles, what they do, wouldn't translate that well to wouldn't translate that well to a Tiny Desk.
And if Bruno Mars did one, it'd be the greatest of all time, and nobody else could top it. That man is just
Mark,
listen.
I think like it's not that I disagree with you, Mark, because I think that Bruno Mars would also have a great Tiny Desk performance.
He would kill it.
But I think the level of dick sucking is just different across the table here.
And you know what? If I got to dick suck Bruno Mars to get some respect at this table, I'm going to fucking do it.
Mark, what I'm hearing right now is that you have no respect and a dick in your mouth.
Damn.
Welcome back to the boys, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, welcome to the fucking podcast. We're recording on Sunday. We're a little behind schedule, but we're still releasing every Wednesday. That's going to be our new schedule. Wednesday night, it's going to be up, so be there.
So if you're listening, it's Wednesday. It's the middle of the week. I hope it's going good for you.
And the weekend's coming soon. Don't worry. It's coming. We promise.
That's crazy. Also, I just want to say, we all love Bruno Mars. Just saying that.
Yeah.
Bruno Mars is a god. But at the same time, woof. Sheesh.
He would be the best. He would be the best Tiny Desk.
Bruno Mars is mid.
Best.
We would just have.
What did you say? What did you say?
I just wanted a reaction.
Nah.
We would have to wait and see. I honestly say we'd have to wait and see how
any song of Bruno Mars can absolutely kill that format.
Imagine if X did get on a. Like
that would be very interesting.
No, hear me out.
It would be very interesting.
Listen, and like he does Jocelyn Flores and shit, and then he like looks around like he's in silent library and just fucked up.
It would not.
That would not hit.
It would be ass.
In a room full of people who are just staring at him and playing their instruments and are like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Well, no, there's a crowd. There's
like a small crowd.
Yeah, like a coffee shop, not niggas that are listening to fucked up.
Or some George W. Bush right on her pussy.
What is it? Wale went on there. Wale performed, and
Wale does not get enough respect that he deserves.
He does not. Wale's a beautiful artist.
Shout
Love
out
Wale.
to Poupe Fiasco.
But to be honest, he doesn't release consistently enough, and he has
bless you
a few duds.
Damn.
That Hey, I am so sorry. But that bitch was coming for a minute.
That nigga said,
I don't even know what happened there.
Put that on a t-shirt.
Hey, the words really just would not come out right there. But what's up? Hi.
We already did the intro without you.
Yeah, fuck you.
Yeah,
hey, I know that. I know
Late
that.
to the party.
I heard. I was listening. I was just saying hi. That's all I was saying. Like I was not saying nothing too crazy. All I am saying is
poopsie.
All you're saying is what, Tyler?
You know,
Tyler, finish your fucking train of thought.
Yeah,
finish
Tyler.
your train of thought.
The words really aren't coming out today.
The words aren't coming out.
He's in the bow zone layer.
It's really kind of hard for me to think. It's been a long weekend. Had a lot of fun actually this weekend. Good weekend. Hopefully everyone out there when you get to this, it will be past. But Labor Day weekend, you got a good Labor Day weekend. Hopefully, shout out that. Also, talking about Labor Day weekend, Labor Day weekend is the weekend where college football has its little solo start before the big league start kicking back in.
Damn right. So we get one Thursday through Sunday, college football constantly.
So, this past Thursday, the Ohio State Buckeyes have taken the field once again.
And almost lost to some bum
No,
ass
they did not
niggas.
almost lose.
They were they won by 2
down
touchdowns.
for 3/4 of the game.
They were down
No,
for
they were only
2
down
quarters,
They were down
1
for
quarter.
3/4.
Barely a
I
quarter.
watched the game.
They were down
They
for
weren't.
a quarter.
They were losing at the very beginning.
No, they weren't.
they weren't.
They won.
Oh no, they scored the first touchdown. Then Minnesota scored, and then Minnesota scored again.
They scored 14 unanswered points, and it was 14-10 at half.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So then, from the first quarter into half-time, they were losing. The third quarter
They
kickoff
only
had
started
from the
losing.
second quarter.
They only started
The
losing
second
at the end
quarter.
of the second quarter.
If you bring up the box score, it would show 10-0 first quarter, second quarter was 14-0, and then third quarter that's where the Ohio State started coming
Just
on.
woke up.
Yeah, they
So
woke
can
up.
we talk
and
about?
started going on a
Can
run.
we talk about C.J. Stroud?
Okay, it was 7-0 at the end of the first quarter.
I was a little afraid about my man C.J. Stroud because last year, usually what the Buckeyes do, they put a quarterback out there that they think may play next season, and he did not throw one pass. So I was a little nervous for him.
13 of 22.
But the first half numbers were fucking awful.
It was just the first quarter. Like
he had
The first half.
the first quarter he did good. He had a touchdown in the first quarter.
Yeah, but then he started overthrowing. He started lofting balls. He threw a
that's the
pick.
second quarter.
He overthrew Garrett Wilson. He overthrew Chris Olave. But then you know what? He came out in the second half and he had it was 3 touchdowns. 3 touchdowns unanswered. And he was on fire that whole time. And they clearly held back in the fourth quarter.
Minnesota's running back is a dog.
He's hurt.
He got that.
Is he? I don't know if we heard anything about his injury, but he had a knee injury and it did not look good.
What, Ibrahim?
Yes.
Muhammad Ibrahim.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's look
It did not look good for him.
Oh, yeah. It says Minnesota's Muhammad Ibrahim suffers gruesome injury versus Ohio State.
Yeah, and that's a shame because he was chopping that defense up. And speaking of the defense, wow.
Oh, my God. It says
Tyler,
a replay appeared to show a part of his lower leg pop as he was trying to make a cut.
It was nasty.
He tried to walk off the field under his own power, but went down and had to be tended to by trainers.
Yeah. You could see, they did the instant replay. You could see his calf muscle just separate from something.
Ugh.
It was nasty.
Well,
They were trying to say it was a cramp. That was not a cramp.
I hope he recovers.
Me too.
Yeah.
Because he was running some type of special.
Fun back. I feel like a fantasy for college football would be crazy.
But we can't. I don't think they could technically do that.
Now they can, because the players can make money.
Well, no. I mean, I guess ESPN does college football fantasy.
That would be fun.
I think
like,
they
that
do.
would be fun as fuck.
But the problem is that you have to have a company like DraftKings or something.
High scoring games.
I'm about to say, I feel like that's why I think it would be better because like unlike with the NFL right now, you have like a limited number. Well, if that I could legit have someone from fucking Texas and then whoever the fuck.
The problem is that you need a company to come in like DraftKings or something because ESPN is hooked up with the SEC and Fox Sports is hooked up with the Big Ten and whoever they're bringing in, right? So you need a third party to come in so you can actually have all of those teams. So
damn, I don't know if y'all can hear
that's
those
gonna be
planes.
really hard for college football to actually come together and have one entity come in and make money off of the whole NCAA.
Niggas, I was gonna say this nigga Starscream really just skirted over the house.
Yeah, they're practicing for that air show. Sorry about that.
We should go to the air show this year.
I have never been to an air show.
I used to go to the one in Willoughby all the
either.
time. You live kind of close to the airport. You remember when like the old planes would fly over coming from Cleveland?
I never specifically went to them, but every once in a while I would just catch them like practicing or just like I'd see them kind of cruising around from afar, but I never like sat down and actually went to an air show. Although I feel like it would probably be a blast.
Dog, it's so cool. You can like get inside some of the planes. There's at the Lost Nation Air Show, you could go inside like the B-17 bomber that they brought.
They fly over my house all the time
in World War II, and you could like get rides for like $100.
Yeah.
That's dope.
They fly hella low too.
Mm-hmm.
Hella low.
I believe it.
When because
it's
especially when they're
scary.
coming back into the runway, because the runway is like by the road, so like when you're leaving the air show, if there's a plane flying over, it looks like it's like ceiling level because of how big they are.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
We were I don't know if you remember this, but we were playing Cleveland Central.
Oh yeah,
We were
during
playing
the
Cleveland Central
air show,
during the air show. And I tell you what,
because we had to play them during the daytime.
that was some scary shit because I never was downtown when they were practicing for the air show. And that's fucking scary. Like, it sounds like there's a bomb coming straight at you.
Yeah, like
And it's going to drop and everybody's going to die.
The band, we were playing stand tunes and shit, and then you just couldn't hear the band play for like 15 seconds. You just heard like the echoing of the drums. You couldn't even hear the drums being hit. It was crazy.
Now I'm downtown so often, like when a plane flies over, a bunch of people just crouch down and get scared. And I'm just like, what are y'all doing? This happens every day.
Sounds like pussies.
Yeah, pussy.
You guys are afraid of a bomb? Couldn't be me, you know. Brush that off.
Mark's
I'm
built
a vet.
Hey, this is
little
wild.
dog,
So
I'm a
wild.
vet.
Mark.
Y'all clearly haven't been down here for the air show. That's all I'm saying.
21 Mark over here.
Right.
No.
He a rookie. I'm a vet.
No. Don't get us
So-
copy struck, please.
I feel like this should be said. As college football is going on, Buckeyes going on, I feel like the biggest thing the Buckeyes probably have to fix is I would say secondary defense. I feel like the pass rush. I think
Because
the pass rush.
most of their secondary was freshmen because the starters were injured.
The only one who's coming back is Seven Banks and I think Josh Proctor, only real returning starters. And I think,
there was another corner that was injured that they said was supposed to start too. I forgot his name. And then they had that running back.
Trevion Henderson.
No. He converted to safety and he was playing yesterday.
I don't know. I think I know. Because he was like number 14 or something like that. And like
he's number 22. I remember his number. Number
remember,
22.
Don't remember his number.
Steel
Chambers.
Chambers. Yeah.
See, niggas have.
He was starting yesterday. That's how
niggas
good
have
we are.
creative player names now.
Yeah.
And it is incredible. Like parents are legit playing
Pulling
the
out a
video
baby.
games.
Dakotas to ever do it?
He's in college. He's playing. right now.
Whoa, you got to bring that back.
His name was Dakotist.
Dakotas to ever do it.
His name was
That's his full name.
Dakotist, and then his middle name was to ever do it. And
That
like
can't
his
be
last
real.
name was like Johnson.
This dude's not real. We're in a
No,
simulation.
it's 100. It's 100%.
This is like Zildrunas Algauskas all over again. These aren't real people. You can't convince me.
Dakota.
What school does he go to? I think it's like Oregon or something like that.
This man is Dakota.
Oh no, his name was Dakotist to ever do it Crawford. This is a picture of Dakotist.
That was him in
That
high
is-
school.
That's not real.
That is.
He looks like a damn creative player. You know when you guys open like the 2K menu like before you can play the game and it like makes you make a player and it has all those like silhouettes of people? He looks like one of them.
You know what's crazy? I always felt like I looked like the generic guy with no changes to the face,
Oh man.
especially in 2K. I just looked at it. I'm like, yep, change the hair, change the eye color. All right, that's me.
Wow.
I'm surprised Xavier didn't fill that in with guess what color Mark is.
They know by now.
Question. I don't follow football as much
Yeah.
as any of you at this table do,
Right.
but
More of a swimming type of guy.
I remember
'cause you're a whale.
over the last like 2 years or whatever, they were trying to bring the XFL back.
Mm-hmm.
It came
Yeah.
back successfully and
Is
then
that
COVID hit.
still going?
So it got bankrupt and then bought by Dwayne The Rock Johnson, and he's bringing it back in next year.
It
Okay.
only went bankrupt because of COVID though.
Yeah.
Do they let you juice in the XFL?
No.
Because
Not
they
anymore.
absolutely should.
No.
I think okay, hold up with Dwayne The Rock Johnson. I think it's gonna be more of kind of what the XFL used to. So I mean,
No, it's not because he's gonna go bankrupt if he does that.
it might not be out of the realm of thought though.
Let them juice. Let them
Don't let
smash
them
into
juice.
each other. Give me
One of the biggest
extreme
reasons,
football.
The biggest reason that they're not going to be allowed to do that is because they're looking to buy Canadian Football League teams.
But I mean,
Okay.
honestly, they put a great product out on the field. A lot of players that got signed to those teams are now in the NFL.
Yeah,
and that is crazy to think about.
I would say a lot. I think there's a handful. There's
a lot.
There's a lot.
There's a lot actually. The best quarterback. He's on Carolina.
A lot of them were on preseason teams. Like a good number of them. Maybe they didn't make the teams, but they
had
they
an
played
opportunity
NFL
to put
football.
something on tape, and teams saw more of them play, and they were more willing to sign them to contracts.
I would only say the reason why they probably won't let them juice is because one of the biggest issues football is having right now is kind of like an image thing because of safety reasons and making sure that like after they get done playing, like everyone, like the person will be okay. So that's one of the biggest things the NFL is like trying to fight. Is like we do care about our players, we do care about their safety.
They don't care about the players.
I wouldn't say
there's
that.
no way they do.
I think that they do.
They care about them as long as they make them money.
Yeah,
I think if you would tell me that the owners don't care, yes, but I think Goodell cares. I would say
no, because Goodell is not. His salary is paid 100% by the owners. He's going to do whatever the owners tell him to do.
You're talking about the no fun league right now.
Do you think Jerry Jones telling Roger Goodell what to do has less or more weight? Because it definitely has more weight than whatever J.C. Treader asked Goodell to do.
But I feel like that's the thing, though. I think that I don't think what Goodell has put in place, I feel like it is owner driven. So I think if he was,
that's a problem.
If the owners didn't pay his fee or whatever,
his salary,
I think that he would do more like player focused things. Like one of the dumbest things I hate is the face mask. It's like you can't have a crazy looking face mask. I think that's dumb.
Like the Justin Tuck style.
Yeah. So it's just things like that. Is like, yeah, I see.
Or the cleats thing, right? Or the special visors, because like Odell got pulled off a field the first year he was here because his visor was illegally tinted.
But that's
stupid.
That's like parking tickets in a city, though, because those players get fined. The league's literally just trying to get money off these players.
Yeah, but the problem is they pulled Odell off the field.
By the owners,
it's not the problem because they're still getting paid. Odell still got fined, even if he wouldn't have went back into the game or followed the rule, and even if he did follow the rule, which he did, he still got fined.
But the problem with Roger Goodell is the guy isn't consistent about anything, especially with suspending players for domestic violence and what do they call it? The substance abuse policies. It's been so inconsistent. Like Ray Rice got kicked out of the league, but Tyreek Hill is still playing, and they probably did stuff that are equally, if not Tyreek Hill's, is probably worse. He threw a pregnant woman down the steps.
But the thing
broke his son's arm.
But the thing with the Ray Rice is, it's like Ray Rice. He was caught seen beating on his wife.
Yeah, Ray Rice beat on his wife, but Ray Lewis killed somebody.
But you would just look at Tyreek Hill. But Tyreek Hill, one of his domestic things with his girlfriend, his pregnant girlfriend. He was in college. He wasn't.
He broke his son's arm a couple years ago, beating him.
His son shouldn't have been such a bitch.
Adrian Peterson got kicked out of the league for 2 years for beating his kid with a switch.
Which again,
nothing happened to Tyreek Hill,
which I think is dumb because Adrian Peterson is disciplining his child. That's not up to the league. That's not up to anyone else.
No, it's up to the league.
It's not up to the league.
No, because they punish. If they punish Adrian Peterson, they have to punish the next person.
I agree. I don't think they should have punished Adrian Peterson in the first place.
So the problem with the NFL and Goodell is consistency. That's the office that he runs, and he's not. Like the stuff that office puts through is absolutely so inconsistent, and nobody knows what's going to happen to those players.
I agree. I think it is hit or miss, but I feel like, again, I don't know. I just feel like it's just kind of wild that you would punish someone for whooping their children. It's like, who are you? Like, you can't tell me how to discipline my child.
Even like the Zeke Elliott stuff, right? A couple years ago, that was crazy.
And I disagree. I disagree with the Zeke thing. I don't think Zeke should have been suspended that year, only because.
For what about touching a stripper or something, right?
No, it wasn't touching a stripper.
Wait, we're not allowed to touch strippers?
I think he punched like his girlfriend at the time or something like that.
Wow, these niggas really love to beat on women.
Not all of them.
Why do you think we're all afraid?
That's fair.
But I would honestly say that the Zeke happened like during his draft process. I don't think he was.
No, it was a couple years ago. It wasn't during his draft process.
No, it happened during his draft process.
Before
he got drafted, it was during there.
No, this is a different thing, Tyler. It's when he was out like partying or something right before he got his big contract.
It was like his rookie. He has two of them.
And he like pushed over a cop or something and went over one of those metal barriers.
No,
Speaking of NFL players doing crazy shit, you guys remember when LSU won the Natty and Odell just drunkenly walked into the locker room and smacked a cop on the ass?
Yeah,
it was a security guard.
Give him a bonus for it.
It was cool.
That's a ballsy.
Remember
move.
when he just straight up paid people on the field? Gave him money.
He gave a DB, I think, or a receiver like a few hundred. It was like
he almost gave LSU the death penalty there.
No, because he gave them the seniors.
No, because he's a booster.
And he's still, even if they're seniors, it doesn't matter.
No,
you can't give them money.
They declared for the draft already. Yes, you can.
No, you can't.
No.
You
can't declare for the draft when you're playing in the national championship.
You can't.
The game was over. That was their last college football game.
It doesn't matter.
He paid kids that were not seniors.
They're still on the team.
Why y'all? I hate niggas pocket watching.
I'm not pocket watching.
I'm not saying there's a problem.
You gave him money. Oh, you just mad that it wasn't you.
I'm not mad.
He almost gave LSU the death penalty.
Mad at many things.
He almost got an LSU banned from getting into any bowl games, including the national championship.
That didn't matter because LSU's not going to another bowl game for a good 30 years till they get another weird white quarterback.
Shout out to Joe Burrow.
You're probably right.
They need to poach another Ohio State quarterback.
Probably Jack Miller, because Jack Miller's about to most definitely leave. Jack Miller's leaving. Whoever's behind, no, because the guy behind him is like, I think
he just got hit.
What was it? Tate Martella's ass.
I don't know who the fuck that nigga is.
Remember it was the dude who's he was supposed to be the starter before we got Justin Fields.
Yeah, he left UNLV.
No, it was like he was competing with
Haskins. He competed with Haskins first.
And then I don't know who that nigga is, and then you know his whole life story.
And then he waited another year because Haskins was going to the draft, and then once he saw they got Justin Fields, he left before workouts even started.
And that's why
went to UNLV.
I said that's why Joe Burrow left. Joe Burrow
doesn't even play.
Transferred because Justin Fields transferred to Ohio State. He was like, all right, cool. Now it's time for me to go.
Hey, what do you guys think of the targeting rule?
College football targeting rule, I think it needs to be changed.
It's inconsistent. We don't know what a targeting rule is.
Well, no.
I was going to say, could you please define
the rule? The
rule is very black and white, but the way that it's enforced is very inconsistent.
Okay,
so it confuses fans and the announcers.
Okay, imagine. The best way I can describe this is, you know how in MMA back of the head strikes are illegal?
Yes.
But if you turn your head and you get hit in the back of the head, it's not illegal?
Yeah.
Imagine even if the person who's getting hit, it was their fault they got hit back in the back of the head, the person who threw the punch is automatically penalized and thrown out of the fight, because that's what happens.
And they get suspended for a whole half the next game.
Yeah, like,
okay.
And it doesn't matter. Like, it could be the very first play of the game and you accidentally hit them wrong, like because of how they moved their body, and you just get kicked out of the game. And players automatically ejected.
If your punch is already right there and they turn at the last moment, and it's really hard because the way it is enforced. They told us 2 years ago that targeting is when a player puts the crown of its helmet down and launches at the offensive player who is defined defenseless. Now,
okay, I got the
defenseless
rule right
is very, very
defenseless is such a shitty term in football.
Okay,
because if you have the ball, you're not defenseless.
Let me do it. The targeting rule for college is forbids players from making forcible contact with the crown of the helmet or making forcible contact the head and neck area of an opponent. So,
and it's very subjective from a defensive player's point of view. Sometimes you can't stop it if you're already flying through the air trying to tackle that person and they move their body. You'll get kicked out of the game for something that's not really considered a dirty hit.
Denzel's hit on against Maryland.
Denzel's hit wasn't targeting.
It was not targeting. It was a good, solid crack.
But I was gonna say it was actually another Ohio State player. Deshaun Wade one for Clemson that
during the bowl game.
Yes. That hit I believe was not a.
Oh yeah, on Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, that was
not targeting.
That was not targeting.
Last second.
What happened is he ducked down, like he shuddered because he had Chase Young coming. and he knew that the blitz was coming. He shuddered, and then when he got down, his head, the strike zone lowered, which hit Trevor Lawrence.
He was gonna hit him like in the ribs.
Yes, he was gonna hit him in the side, and then he bucked up, and then when he bucked up, Chase Young wrapped up over top and like brought him down, and they're like, whoa. And then he's legit. I felt like he played it off really well. I would say this. I think in football, sometimes they really do get the acting chops a little bit right. Because in the NBA, when they get a hard foul or whatever, they're trying to get the foul. It can like come off like there's a little bit of acting
like the
into
D Wade rule.
It's really hard to act getting hit hard in a football game. Yes, it is, because the instant replay will tell you everything. But in the NBA, it's a lot more. It's easier. A lot harder to tell. It's easier to flop in the NBA than it is in football.
I feel like it's not.
It 100% is. If I just touch you, like soccer players, you see soccer players, pretend to die on the field, right? And they kick out the other player. But in football, you have to actually hit that person. The defender has to actually hit that person for the rest to throw the flag.
If a quarterback wanted to every play, they could just make themselves a targeting liability. All you have to do is lower your body. It's just they don't want to get hit like that.
Yeah, because you would actually have to get hit. While in the NBA or soccer, don't really have to get hit.
15 yards every time, that's a lot of.
But why would I want to give myself CTE?
You're probably going to get it anyway.
Sorry, Mark. I guess you're not a bag chaser.
I guess
That's
I'm not.
Crazy. It's crazy. No, but honestly, I would say the targeting rule, I feel like it is very clear. It's
not enforced clear.
It is enforced clearly.
No, it's not.
Yes, they are very black and white on targeting calls. Like when you're called for targeting, it's something's there. Like
there was a lot of players who got kicked out of the game for the offensive player making themselves more vulnerable. And I don't think, in my opinion, that consists of targeting. Targeting is a dirty hit.
That's not true.
Targeting is there to stop dirty hits, stop over tackling, and just let the play go dead. You don't need to hit somebody who's already falling to the ground.
Yeah, you do.
I feel okay. So this
I'm not even saying that in like an asshole-ish way. Comes back to the defenseless thing, and the defenseless part can even go to the NFL. Do you remember when Denzel got charged with defenseless receiver and we almost lost the game to the Bengals? When that dude made that sideline catch and Denzel launched it was a clean hit. He put his shoulder straight into the dude's shoulder pads into his chest and knocked him out of bounds, and he didn't catch the ball. And they called it a 15-yarder, and the Bengals got the first down.
Yeah.
You are not defenseless if you have that ball. You know the risks. When you're going over the middle, if you hit a player before they get the ball, yes, that's pass interference. Defenseless could be, yes, you're out of bounds.
If they don't really have the ball, I can see how you would say. But you've seen
spectacular catches before. If they don't really have the ball, they can get it while they're on the ground. If the ball hits me in the chest and I fall to the ground and that ball comes down and I catch it before it hits the ground, it's a catch. So if that ball's coming towards you and you've touched it already, I'm lighting you the fuck up.
Even the NFL even changed the catch rule. If the ball hits the ground but you have control of it, quote unquote control of it, it's still a catch.
Well, that makes sense. If you control the ball and then hit the ground like this, that's right. A catch.
So if I'm a safety coming over to this man who's about to catch the ball, what am I supposed to do? Let him go past me? No, that's how I lose my job.
Lighting him up.
Exactly.
I don't know. I feel like for the NFL, for college football at least, I think Joe Klatt has been saying this, who's a commentator. He's been saying this for a minute, that the best thing to do was just kind of, if it's accidental or if like it's an accidental thing, keep the 15, just don't throw the player out, which I agree with. I think you should keep the player in if it's accidental. Like if it's
and that's the problem 100% with the penalty.
Because like it's clear, like it's just throw them out. Like even if it's
like
accidental,
it's like a flagrant foul in NBA, right? There's a 1 and there's a 2, and the 2 exists for a reason, and so does the 1.
A flagrant 2 is literally like stabbing.
Yeah.
I love the flagrant 2 call. If someone calls a flagrant 2, you know someone got fucked up. Because it's like, say Tyler went for a layup and I punched him in the head. Like, that's a flagrant 2.
Exactly.
Like, that's like, flagrant 2 or like someone goes to dunk on you and then you like undercut them and they flip and crack their head on the ground. Like, that's a flagrant 2. It's such a great
street ball.
It really is.
Right, like the dude who Shaq dunked on and then shoved his man parts in his face when he was coming off the rim.
Oh, and he teabagged dog?
Yeah, when he teabagged him. That's a flagrant 2. That's a flagrant 2.
Was it on purpose?
Well,
yeah.
No, Shaq has control of his melons.
He sent his momentum towards that man's face.
Control over Shaq's melons. It's got to be him.
He opened up his legs as far as he could so that man his head would end up in his crotch. It was totally intentional.
Maybe Shaq just hasn't came out yet.
It was baller.
Wow. I don't know. I would say Ohio State. I feel like their defense, as long as their secondary defense gets cleaned up, I think the Bucs would be good.
They need some pass rush too.
I think they go 6-4.
I think pass rush is going to solve itself out. I think it's just
hopefully.
I think it's just
can't
because
act like that the rest of the year.
I think it's just because a lot of them are low key younger. They're trying to get the young guys in because you only have on the D line.
I only saw Jack Sawyer on the D line once.
I'm about to say Jack Sawyer didn't really play except for like one snap,
right,
and then
but I mean everybody else, like all the other defensive ends are upperclassmen.
Zach Harrison and then Haskell Garrett are the only ones.
No, who's the guy on the other side? Haskell Garrett's in the middle, but
he's like a sophomore. You got a bunch of first, second year guys.
This is number 11. Number 11. What's his name? Isn't that the guy from Cleveland Heights?
This is his second year.
Really?
This is his second year.
Oh snap!
These are second year. These are first, second year players. So I think pass rush will get there because
I'm really excited for Jack Sawyer.
The D line coach is a great coach. That will fix itself. That will solve itself. The linebackers will be slow, but they'll get there. And then I think the secondary needs a lot more help. But that is college football. Ohio State is Ohio State. They're probably going 12-0 regular season, and we're probably just trying to see if the playoff championship go be there. Now, what we really go get into is if
champagne poetry. I'm so sorry, Megan. I forgot you were wearing the headphones.
That's crazy.
Headphone users.
Speaking of sucking dick,
it's not a bad song nor a bad album.
No, but Xavier's been talking about. He's been listening to the same song.
I was going to talk about the Browns. We're going to talk about the Browns.
I haven't even played yet. I don't give a fuck about them.
The fuck? I was.
No, we need to throw out.
Doesn't matter.
We need to throw out our predictions though. Listen.
All right, you want to hear my prediction, Mark? The guy who doesn't watch football, I'm going to give you my prediction. The Browns are never going to be amazing again. I'm not saying they're going to do poorly.
They were never
They have
amazing.
a really nice team. They were amazing before the Super Bowl was the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But, I don't think we'll ever reach that status again. I think we make it to the playoffs. I think we handedly make it to the playoffs, but we get out of the playoffs very early.
Wow.
Last year?
We didn't get out early last year. We were one game away from the AFC Championship.
You think we're one and done in Felo, or are we going past the first game?
Maybe past the first game, but not past
the
second game.
We're winning the Super Bowl this year.
I don't think
I
so.
already rented a party bus for outside of SoFi Stadium in LA.
Oh yeah, you got the whole beer locker.
That's literally why I'm broke.
It's
because of that party bus.
Listen.
All I know is that there's a pound of Coke. Steve-O is going to be there, and you're welcome to come. But you have to apologize before you get on the bus.
He sent the receipt to Baker Mayfield.
Deal.
Hey, it's crazy. He's really gonna be outside. Like, all right, so I know y'all about to leave, and I'm sorry.
I can't wait to see all the Buccaneers fans leave the stadium.
I disagree. I don't think the Bucs are going to the Super Bowl this year.
If you say Saints, I'll hit you.
I don't think the Saints are going. I think the Rams or Packers.
Packers.
Wow.
What's going on with the Rams? I haven't heard
Them
the
niggas
Rams
suck.
for years.
The Rams have.
Their core is aging.
They get Matt Stafford. Now everyone thinks they're the GOATs.
Yeah, Matt Stafford's a better quarterback than Jared Goff.
I'm about to say they have a more suitable quarterback for them. I think with the talent that is there, you just need a quarterback that's not going to make bad.
Tyler,
I mean, their running game.
That you're nuts. Oh, never mind. I was going to say that.
Yeah, what about Tyler's nuts? Please go into that.
I was going to say.
I want to hear it.
I was going to say I think that my nuts are suitable for your mouth, but.
No, listen, but the Rams core is getting a lot older. Their playmakers aren't as effective as they used to, and they kind of got wasted by keeping Jared Goff there.
Cooper Kupp's like 25.
Yeah, but other than Cooper Kupp,
Robert Wood is like 26.
Okay, and what about the running back? How's that going?
They don't have a real running back.
Exactly.
They have a running back by committee.
That's how that team got to the Super Bowl. That's how that team got to the Super Bowl was with the zone running.
Because they used everything that Todd Gurley had.
Yeah, I was gonna say
they sucked the life force out of Todd Gurley.
You remember when he didn't have legs anymore?
Yeah, I remember they did the same thing to the next running back.
They really rammed him. Like
they really took everything out of him.
They really told him, like,
Cam
Akers,
you
see those horns on your helmet, put your head down.
He's out for the season, I'm pretty sure.
Exactly.
Yeah, because they probably,
you know why?
Because they fucking hit him with baseball bats during training camp.
They're trying to give him Shaolin monk training, hitting him.
No,
in the knees.
You know,
they're like, your pain tolerance is gonna get better.
Do you know what? You guys watch The Legends of Korra?
Yes.
You know when she's trying to go through the airbender thingy, like in one of the first couple episodes to master? That's what I imagine the Rams running back have to go through.
Jesus.
But no, I think
they just signed Devonta Freeman, didn't they?
He's gonna die too.
Yeah, he's already dead.
But I feel like, honestly, I would say that they have easy choices. Philip Lindsay's on the Texans. You have Mark Ingram on the Texans. You can most definitely make a suitable trade to go get one of those.
Ernest Johnson would be a good running back for them too.
Ernest Johnson's still on the team.
All I'm saying is that Le'Veon Bell is a free agent.
I'm about to say, Le'Veon is still there, and then he also adds to the passing game.
I mean,
so,
if you get
because
if you get Le'Veon, then you could have a running back by committee, something kind of like the whatchamacallits had a couple years ago. The Saints, they had one really good young back, and then they had a veteran back.
With Kamara and Ingram?
Yeah, because that was and then after Kamara matured, they let Ingram go.
I see what you're saying.
So, like, honestly, Philip Lindsay and Le'Veon would be a crazy backfield to have. Let Philip Lindsay mature in the system.
I got you.
Yeah,
number one.
There's plenty of options. But I mean, the bottom line is that they need to pray to God that their glue holds together still.
I don't think it's glue. I think they're pretty good. I think their line, the oldest offensive line they may have had is your left tackle. So I think you would have to. But
is the offense going to work? Yes, genius Sean McVay, is he going to play to Matt Stafford's strengths? Because that's what he has to do.
It's not about playing to Matt Stafford's strengths.
It is.
Matthew Stafford doesn't make a lot of mistakes, so it's legit. As long as he doesn't put the ball in the other team's hands, you will be fine. He has very talented receivers around him. He has a good enough tight end around him, and the only thing they really need is to watch their left tackle and
their defense
and their
aging defense.
Their defense is okay.
I have a question.
Aaron Donald's
he's the only guy.
Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey.
They lost LaMarcus Joyner. They lost.
Jordan Fuller. Jordan Fuller is a good up-and-coming safety.
They lost the safety that came to the Browns.
Yes, I know, and he was replaced by Jordan Fuller. And Jordan Fuller.
You think Jordan Fuller is going to replace him?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. You don't watch enough Rams football if you don't think he can. I would also say you have two good corners, so everything will be fine on the outside, on your outside. So everything will legit just be inside. And I think you have an easy fucking you have probably one of the best. You have one of the best fucking pass rushers, so you'll be fine. I think that they would be okay. I think they would be fine. Only I would honestly say about the Rams is if the quarterback can do his job. And if the quarterback can do his job, everything will be fine.
Tyler.
Yes.
If I became a ride or die fan for any NFL team, which team would you judge me the harshest?
Texans.
Jaguars.
If you were a Texans fan,
nigga, chill out. Calm down with all that.
I would say if you were a Texans fan, you're rooting for a dying franchise. Like a dying franchise ran by a shitty person.
Okay.
Like he spends almost little to no money on players.
Yeah, but your quarterback likes happy endings.
He's not going to be the quarterback there for long.
He loves the rub and tug.
He loves the rub and tug.
Deshaun Watson.
Does anybody allegedly dislike rub and tugs?
No, they don't.
You can get a Deshaun Watson jersey and walk into a massage parlor.
I don't think that'll get me a rub and tug.
It won't.
It probably will. If you go in the Houston area, it will.
I still don't know about that.
I think
Mark.
You might get lynched in the Houston area if you're wearing a Deshaun Watson jersey. They don't really like him because
I'm getting a pair of jorts,
dirty
and a Deshaun Watson jersey, and I'm moving to H-Town.
If you wore a Deshaun Watson jersey in Houston, you'll be fine. You'll be perfectly fine.
Not if you tell them that you just moved there and the reason that you're wearing the jersey. Because Phil would definitely be at the bar and be like, yeah, you know why I got this jersey? Big rub and tug shit, baby.
Yeah. I don't think they would be mad. I think they would laugh at you. I think they'd be like, wow, this guy is really weird.
Rightfully so.
But I think Deshaun won't be with the Texans.
Yes, he will.
No.
They're going to keep him until the court case is resolved.
No, I don't think they will. I think they will trade him so that way someone else has to deal with it.
Nobody else wants to trade for him.
I don't think so. I think Washington will trade for him. Depending, I think depending on what happens depending on what happens with Fitzpatrick, they're only a quarterback away. They have
Cam
the
Newton
defense
sitting out there.
They do have Cam Newton out there, but I think it's less likely they would pick up Cam Newton because he's a little bit older.
It's more likely to pick up Cam Newton because he has familiarity with the offense. He knows Ron Rivera. They had a lot of good times together. They made a Super Bowl. Why would they not go for Cam Newton? Why would I trade for a high risk man who's probably not going to play?
We're only allowing black quarterbacks in Houston. Warren Moon was on the Oilers. Deshaun Watson was on the Texans. And now we're about to get Cam Newton.
Okay, weird. So the reason why I say Deshaun is because Deshaun is younger. He's a lot younger. It's more of a, how do you say? It's more of, there's more chance of growth. Yes, I understand that this suspension is hanging over him, but until it comes,
you
can't grow in an environment like that.
Huh? He might get
grow in an environment like that. Look at every Browns quarterback that isn't Baker Mayfield.
What do you mean?
You're saying there's chance for growth, but you also called them a dying franchise.
Deshaun Kaiser.
I think Deshaun leaving, going to Washington would be the best thing for him. I think Washington would go for him and let.
You're talking about Deshaun Watson leaving?
Yeah.
Who's saying that he's going to stay?
No, Mark.
Well, because now that he's not playing, his years on his contract basically freeze until he starts playing again.
Okay.
So therefore, they'd have to trade him or cut him.
They're not going to cut him.
The only reason why they would cut him is because his court cases go through and he gets put in jail.
They don't have to pay. They don't have to pay his contract if he gets charged guilty, though.
He's not going. He's not going.
So they would just cut him, and then he would get blackballed from the NFL.
First off, he's not going.
Nobody is going to trade for Deshaun Watson because they don't know his value because the court case is not resolved yet.
His value is very easy. He's a first. He has first round.
You know, they might.
Tyler, I'm not talking about his potential as a quarterback.
Kareem Hunt kicked the girl, and they signed him the next year.
Not his potential. He is a first. You would have to give up multiple first round picks.
I'm not giving up multiple first round picks for somebody I don't know is going to play again.
The only reason why, yes, he will play. If you go out and sign him, he will play.
If he's on the blackball list, like Colin Kaepernick is, and like Ray Rice was,
they're not blackballing him though. Why would they blackball him?
Well, we don't know yet until
because first off, one of the biggest franchise owners went out, got rubs and tugs. What did the league do to him? Nothing.
Because he's an owner. He's an owner.
He's going to get suspended. Yes, he may get suspended, but that's the only thing.
Robert Kraft fucking paid most of them off. Deshaun Watson didn't and let it go to court.
You know
that's
what's crazy?
What is wrong with this dude getting a rub and tug? What is wrong with that?
So the
it's sad, but is there anything morally wrong?
Phil,
no, it's not about
allegations of sexual assault. Yeah, that's why
it's not about the for $50 extra I'll rub.
That's terrible. Stop doing what you're doing.
It's about him going, you gonna rub this dick, and them going, we don't really want, and then he puts $100 bill and says, I'm not gonna ask again.
That is asking.
But the thing with Deshaun is, unless he's convicted on it, he'll play again. Most definitely, he'll play again.
And the Texans are going to keep him there.
I don't think they're going to keep him there because I think
he pulls a Le'Veon and they have to trade him.
Shut up, Xavier.
I'm waiting my turn so patiently.
If I'm the Texans, I would trade him now. Because
why would you trade him now? Because why would I trade for somebody I don't know is going to be on my roster? Why would I give up 2 years worth of first round picks if I don't even know if this motherfucker's going to play on my team?
Is he playing now? Is he playing now?
Watson?
If he's playing now, if I know
season doesn't matter.
If I know he's about to shoot up, yeah. If by week 8, if the ruling or anything hasn't come out by week 8, yes, I would most definitely make a trade offer for him. Yes, especially if it looks like he's about to play the rest of the season. If I'm a fringe playoff team, and I know I just need a quarterback to get to that next. Yes, I'm
signing Cam Newton. I'd rather sign Cam Newton for the 1 year to get me to the playoffs.
Washington can go to the Super Bowl if they sign Deshaun, and I think they would sign Deshaun.
No, they could not go to the Super. What are you talking about? They have no.
They have the defense.
They have one defensive player. They have one defensive player.
That's cap. Their entire D line is a bunch of dogs. Not just like. Okay,
they don't have a run game. Their offensive line is garbage.
They do have a run game.
There's a reason why they tossed Dwayne
Gibson.
Haskins back out there.
His name is Gibson. Please do not downplay number 24.
I'm downplaying him.
He's a good runner.
He's a great runner.
Listen,
y'all
they have one good receiver.
What's up with Champagne Poetry?
Two good receivers. But we'll see. Washington is going a good 11-6.
No, they're not.
They're going 11-6.
No, they're not.
And they're winning. And they're winning the NFC East.
No, they're not. Well, they might win the NFC East.
They're winning the NFC East, and they're going 11-6 on the season.
They're losing to the Cowboys twice.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
Cap.
I hate the fucking Cowboys, but they're losing to the Cowboys twice.
I don't think the Cowboys are that good. I think the Cowboys are beating the Buccaneers week 1.
To cap off this this whole NFL segment, the Browns are fucking going to the Super Bowl, and they're beating the Green Bay Packers.
Catch me cooked out at SoFi.
Time out.
What's your Super Bowl prediction, Xavier? What's your Super Bowl prediction?
Super Bowl, Super Browns. Take me to the Super Bowl.
Who are they
baby.
playing?
I don't give a fuck who they play.
All right,
it's on
Tyler,
site.
What's your Super Bowl prediction?
Whoever walked through them doors to represent the NFC, congratulations on being NFC champions. But you're not getting the Lombardi.
I would honestly say I'll give you a whole record. I think the Browns, if they win week 1, I think the Browns low key go undefeated. No.
Undefeated. Right,
undefeated.
Listen, if they beat the Chiefs week 1,
I think they could go undefeated.
Their schedule is not that.
The Browns
not that hard.
They have a third place schedule. If they beat the Chiefs week 1, they go undefeated.
The Browns are the type of
team.
You had to play the Ravens twice, and you had to play the Steelers
That's
twice.
the only team that I would say that could probably slip us up.
No.
Or the Ravens.
The Browns.
That's the only team.
The Steelers
might
get one. The Steelers might get one.
Guys, hear me out. The Browns are still the Browns. And I know that might upset you to hear, but if the Browns beat Kansas City, they're going to lose to someone like the Jets. It happens all the time.
Yeah,
Stop that.
I agree with
disagree.
that.
We're burning down your house.
Also, you don't want to go undefeated during the regular season. Every team that's went undefeated during the season made it to the Super Bowl and has lost.
I'm not
except
saying
for the
it's going to
74
happen.
Dolphins.
I'm saying it has the potential to because their schedule isn't that hard.
There's not a chance.
There's a chance.
No.
I'm hearing there's a chance.
No, the 74 Dolphins had Larry Zonka.
I hear there's a chance.
Larry Zonka used to stop running downfield to intentionally run into other people.
Also, the 17th game makes it a lot harder to go 17-0.
You know who went 17-0? They actually went 21-0.
Who?
Drake.
Shut up.
Hey, Tom, before we get there,
Xavier, boo.
I would honestly say if I can see the Browns going maybe 12-5, but I honestly say probably like 15. Oh no, 14-3 or
14-3.
What is it?
I feel like that's a pretty
13-4. 13-4, I think, is a really good one because I feel like we could drop one to the Patriots, drop one to the Packers, drop one to the Chiefs, and
but it all depends on one man.
Ravens.
It all depends on one man and one man only.
He should be paid only $35 million a year.
No, you cannot say that right now because this season did not happen yet.
You guys are
only get
about
paid
to
$35
Browns'
argue
success.
over Baker's contract,
Y'all
and
are
I've been
some
waiting to
dorks.
talk about Champagne Poppy for a fucking 4 hours. Now, either you niggas are gonna listen to me simp over this album that I hated at first, or you're gonna join me in this conversation.
We're going to get done
move
with
on
this.
with
Fine,
and then
Xavier,
we'll
let's
move on.
talk about Drake.
Fuck the NFL. It hasn't even started yet. Don't give a fuck about it.
That's why we're talking about it now. Goofy.
Go
nigga.
on. Say everything that you've ever wanted to say about Drake right here, right now.
Champagne Poetry is the greatest Drake song of all time. I don't care what the fuck you say. Matter of fact, DM me on Instagram if you have a problem about it. Because I'll scrap about it. Because I've been listening to that song. Yeah, show up to my house. You know where I live.
And he's got
Willowick,
the same
Ohio.
haircut, so you can't miss him. He's got the heart shaved in his head and everything.
I do. Matter of fact, I'm about to go get that. I'm about to hit up Sheed.
I swear to God, if you get the little heart in your hair, I will never, ever in my life let you live it down.
And then I'll look at you and I'll say, I've been winning since the birth of my son.
I'm going to just say, I just want to say this.
Oh, yeah.
I am considered the Drake fan here, and he is doing something wild.
Yeah.
I am
He's pissing
considered
off
the
the
Drake
Drake
fan.
stand.
I agree with Tyler on this one. We like to crack a lot of jokes about Tyler being a Drake stan and how much Tyler loves and replays Drake's
Top
music.
1% in the world.
But ever since this album came out, well, even
It's
before
just
the
the
album
two
came
songs.
out, oh my God, have you just always wanted to talk about this single song on the album? Really, it's not a bad album. I liked the album. I thought it was good. It was very
8.5.
8.5.
The only
is a
reason
stretch.
why
8
this
solid.
The only reason why this man is way over the hill for this album is because of one song, and he only
Why do
likes
you
the
guys-
song
hold on.
because of the sample.
Why do you guys keep saying that I like the album? I don't like the album. I
didn't
like
say you liked
Champagne
the album.
Poetry.
I said you've been losing
Mark-
your mind over one
Yeah,
song.
Mark keeps
on
saying
the
the
album.
reason
You
he
were
likes
shitting
this
on
album.
the album.
I was shitting on the album. It's
excessively.
because of
Whoa, whoa,
one
whoa, whoa,
song.
whoa.
And then you heard the first track off the album, and then after the
I did
first
not
track
shit on the album
you
before.
shit on it.
I did not shit on the album
Yes,
before.
you did.
When?
The entire few days leading up to that release party, just the release in general.
I said
you were
Donda was going to be better.
crazy
I said Donda
shit
was going to be better,
about
and
it.
Donda
then
was better.
After the album came out,
I
it
still
was
shit on it. You can go back into our Instagram conversation and look, I literally said I like 2 songs off the album. The rest of it all sounds the same and it's garbage. And if you look in my Apple Music, there are 2 songs saved off that album. And it's the only 2 songs that I've had on repeat. Project Pat and fucking Champagne Poetry. And I can pull up the conversation where I legit said I only like the Project Pat song and Champagne Poetry. Everything else sounds the exact same. To which Tyler said, no, that's not true. And then we argued about the one song that he said that he liked that I said was Dookie.
It wasn't Dookie.
What is it? No Friends in the Industry? It's not. It's cool.
It was a better performance than Champagne Poetry.
It really
Champagne
wasn't.
Poetry is only arguably the best song in that album because of the instrumental. If it was a different instrumental with
copy
the
and
same
pasted.
Drake performance, it would be nowhere near
That's not
as
even,
highly
that's not
regarded
fair to
as you
say.
were
You can
saying.
say that about any song ever.
That's a fair argument to say
Because
that.
you write your rhymes to the
beat.
to the beat, to the instrumental. You write it for that. So you would craft your words around what you're hearing, unless you already wrote it and then you're just trying to find the beat that fit those words,
Which is hard to do.
Which typically most people
Because
find
then
the
you have
beat,
to switch
like
the
beat.
flow.
Yeah, because most people find the beat, get in the pocket that they need to for the beat, and then they write their words. So personally, I would say honestly, in my opinion, the best song on the album, I don't think is the intro, which is a really good intro. Probably top 5 Drake intros.
I think
Whoa.
Tyler's gonna say exactly what I'm gonna
1
say. What's
Drake
top favorite
intros.
song in the album?
Top 3, if you're talking about specific album intros for Drake's discography, I'd say Champagne Poetry is top 3, but
Top
it is not
5.
the best.
I'm nowhere near the best.
Well, I don't know how it's not top 1 considering it's Drake's best song.
Honestly, I enjoyed Fair Trade more. Honestly, that was a good song.
It was pretty good.
Yeah, it's better.
I completely agree with Xavier's criticism that the album sounds very similar. There's not much diversity in Drake's performance or a lot of the instrumentals. It was a very, it was cohesive. It was not like very disjointed and all over the place. It wasn't a mess of an album. It was very concise, but it did not deviate from the very safe place that it was.
I believe the reason why, if you say the album sounds the same, I wouldn't be too mad. I would honestly say I get it. I would only say that because the album, I feel like he was trying to stay in a pocket, and that certain pocket that he was trying to stay in, he tried to make sure it was that lover boy mentality, that lover boy feel. So I feel like there are a few songs, I would say, especially in the middle, that I would honestly say kind of sound similar. Like I would say
Everything After Way Too Sexy.
I disagree.
Way Too Sexy was a horrible song. Both songs that had
The
Future
two-
on it made me incredibly sad to listen to.
And
The
I agree
3
with him. He
songs-
needs a
I
wife
hate
to take
Future.
care of him.
I don't like Future, but I will give him a lot of credit in his music. Like, it's not that he makes bad music. I just find him underwhelming.
I like Odd Future.
Odd Future's fun, but there's a lot of
hold on,
disparity
hold on
in
real
between
quick.
the members.
I wasn't
and
trying
their
to switch
skill.
up. I just really hate Future.
I would honestly say the 3 songs after Way Too Sexy, I would say sound completely the same.
Yeah,
and that's
I
the only-
disagree. In Too Deep sounded very different compared to the other ones. Not in a better way, but it did sound different. The instrumental, the performances, In Too Deep had its own feel compared to a lot of the other stuff on the album, and it was not a good feel. Same thing with Too Sexy. Too Sexy had an interesting sample. It was kind of fun, but like after the first 20 seconds, it got old so aggressively quickly. It aged like milk.
I'm gonna ask you guys a question.
Yeah.
So just to have this conversation, Phil, what do you rate the album?
I think
out of 10.
I think 8 out of 10 flat is a completely fair rating. It is what I personally would give the album. I think it was a good album. There's a lot of things to like about it. There was a lot of great performances from Drake and some of the other features. It was not a bad album by any means, but there are a lot of valid criticisms to give to this album.
Okay, Tyler, what do you rate it out of 10?
This album is an 8.5, 9.
A 9.
Xavier, what do you rate the album? The album.
I am. The album gets like a 6 from me. The reason that it gets a 6 is shout out to Drake for having 21 in the top 21. Like, that's real dog demon shit. But the album would have been better if it was shorter because, like I said earlier, most of the songs sound the same to me. You could have gave me 14 songs. As long as that intro's on there, cool. I would have given a 14 song Drake album, probably would have gotten an 8 or a 9.
So
okay, just trim the fat a little bit.
So now my question is, because for me personally, I agree with Xavier that it's like a 6, because if something is like an 8, it's gotta rock my world.
I disagree with that. I feel
this is my personal grading scale, but
have to rock your world.
No,
I feel like the
an 8
1
has to rock
10
my
is
world,
a very
and a 10 is something that is in my daily rotation, and it rocks my world every time I go back to it.
Like Toby Keith is a 10 for Mark.
No, stop there.
It's okay. You can talk about him having bad taste.
No. Mark does not co-sign what these people are saying about his music.
First off, I fuck with Toby Keith.
That's crazy.
I just like to shit on country music because it's fun.
I feel like you guys rating it an 8 is kind of it. This doesn't stack up to the rest of Drake's discography. The last couple albums he released. What do you rate Scorpion?
Guys,
it was definitely better than Scorpion.
You think?
It was absolutely. This is the best thing Drake has done since at least Views.
Yeah,
this is
pretty much.
This is much better than anything.
This is better than More Life.
Views.
This is better than Scorpion. This is better than the Dark Lane demo tapes. Easy.
I don't know. The Dark Lane demo tapes is where we got Chicago Freestyle, right?
And that was like the only good song on that.
I would disagree.
Dark Lane demo tapes was not a very good.
Wait, you can't even count that as an album. He gave that out for free. That was a throwaway.
Yeah, you could easily say that was just a B-side collection, like a small mixtape, if you want to describe it that. When we talk about studio albums, whether Dark Lane demo tapes counts as an official studio album for Drake or not, it is not something that I would put in the discussion of studio albums, in the same way that I would not put Untitled Unmastered in the same discussion as I would with the rest of Kendrick Lamar's discography.
All right, so Certified Lover Boy is top what as far as Drake's discography?
How many albums does he have?
Like 8, I think.
Something like that.
I'm just shocked that you rated it so high for how much shit you guys talked on it.
I mean, yeah, I like the album.
It's a blah. It's a blah for me.
But it is definitely not perfect like some people are treating it. And I think the fact that it has occupied the entire top 21 out of 25 in terms of the numbers that it's pulling does not surprise me at all.
Carter 5 did that too.
You could
when
take
Lil Wayne
the worst project that Drake has released, and when you give it the hype that Certified Lover Boy had in terms of being pushed back, and on top of everybody being excited for it, and then it get pushed back, and then the Drake-Kanye beef erupted right before both albums dropped. I think with the amount of hype that was surrounding this project, you could take the worst Drake album and it still would have occupied the top 21 for the level of success and reach that Drake has been able to obtain and maintain within the music industry.
Do you think all 21 are so high because they're good, or because people are just so confused why they all sound alike and everybody just keeps re-listening to it and shitting on it?
It's just getting replayed over and over again.
It's not even just that people are replaying it over and over again.
Tyler
Drake
really
has such a large and wide audience for how high Drake has reached in status that Drake could sit there and burp for 30 seconds on a track, and it's getting a lot of views because a ton of people are going to listen to it. Yeah. The amount of people that not even have gone back to and kept replaying this album, the amount of people that checked it out for the first time, the amount of reach that Drake has within his audience and just casual fans that may not even be into Drake, they want to check it out because it's the hot new album that everyone's talking about. It does not surprise me that Drake has occupied all those time.
It ain't gonna be for long because you know what's
the top 21. I want to see where Champagne Poetry is on that.
That's got to be top 3.
I hate you so much.
It better be.
It's probably top 3.
I'm being so serious.
Do you have Apple Music? Look on Apple Music.
Go ahead.
Do you
know who's about to pass Drake?
We don't care.
Lil Nas X.
Lil Nas X will take the spot from Drake in the number 1.
How do I get to the top?
But I completely think that Drake will retake the spot. I do not think that Lil Nas X's music in its as a whole project will be able to maintain the longevity on the charts that Drake's whole project would
because it's his first studio album. It's a debut album, but the fact that he has the reach and the potential to pass Drake period on his debut album is just crazy.
Okay, the only thing that he's taking away is because he's dropping in 2 weeks. So at that point, I don't think he's going to sell more than Drake. He's not, because Drake is looking at 575 to 625 first week numbers.
Okay,
I think Montero does 5 at least.
I think Montero does 3.
What? You are grossly underestimating this man's reach.
I think it at least outsells Donda.
No.
Donda did
it's going to definitely outsell Donda.
Donda did 322.
Yeah,
322, 325 first week. So I do not think with Donda, especially with the hype that was around Donda, I can see maybe he outsells, or if he sells the exact same amount as Kanye. Because what Billie Eilish did 330, I think 332 or something like that, and I think he will do exactly like that. He would probably hit 330. I wouldn't be surprised if he hit 350, but he's not selling 5.
Guess what
not
the
first
number
week.
1 song is?
Give me the top 5, Xavier. Can you run it down?
Way Too Sexy is number 1 with Future.
Yes, because it has a music video.
I hate niggas.
It's a music video.
Girls Want Girls. Isn't that the song where he called himself a lesbian?
That song made me so mad. Because he was so...
You know what? The memes coming from that, because
so aggressively
I've seen so many
and
edits.
It made me so mad because the first verse of that song is actually really good, and I really enjoyed the first verse.
Yes, can we talk about this picture right here?
Made me so upset.
Can we talk about this picture? I appreciate memes that come from music, and Drake's heads on women's bodies has just been entertaining me the past few days.
You like Drake on women's bodies?
I just think it's funny.
That's crazy.
It's creepy how well it's edited.
Yeah, and it's way too good.
It's way too good, Mark?
It's
that's a great edit.
I would say this. I think the reason why they're the top, why his entire album is in the top 25 on Apple Music, is because like Phil was saying earlier, it is the hot new album. It is the album that is out there, and I think that he's just out there. I think that
Leroy knocked Drake off the top spot.
Leroy,
the Spotify numbers.
Oh my.
Well,
okay,
yeah,
but
that's still impressive.
So
we want to talk about overrated albums in terms of Drake. I want to talk about overrated artists in terms of Leroy. Leroy has released the same album 3 times, and he has only added maybe 5 good songs.
Outstreaming Drake on Spotify, which is still crazy.
That's just Spotify. Well, let's look at numbers as a whole. If you look at numbers as a whole, guess what it's not doing? Outselling
I'm
Drake.
Surprised the kid Leroy is beating Drake on anything, to be honest.
I agree with that.
But I feel like that's the thing. I feel like people look at the one thing, but not take everything.
Number 4?
Champagne Poetry is number 6 on Spotify.
I'm really about to start working, people.
And it's slipping. You know what just passed? Champagne Poetry on Spotify?
Industry Baby? Oh, I'm okay with that.
Industry Baby, yeah.
It's a better song.
It is a better song.
It is a better song.
I'm about to say he's still not selling more than Drake. First week. His music has slowed down.
Drake?
If you look at what Montero did versus,
because his audience is in different spots.
I mean, I
even
agree
in
with
spots that aren't, captured by selling albums.
Drake still has 3 songs that do better than Old Town Road, the remix, the good one.
The original Old Town Road has more numbers though.
No, it doesn't. Drake has 2 songs that I would stream that song.
It's gonna be really funny when we come on this podcast 3 weeks from now, and it has Lil Nas X having the first 18 spots on Apple Music, and Drake is the next 21. That'd be so funny.
If that happens, I'm gonna laugh. But you know what's gonna make me laugh way harder?
No, hold on real quick. I have a quick question.
If Tyler's right.
because that never
Tyler's
happened.
right, I'm gonna laugh so much harder.
I can't even lie. If Tyler's right, I'm sick that day. I was like, I'm not coming in. I'm not listening to him do that for an entire podcast. He's gonna really be in the mic. We're gonna be talking, and this nigga's gonna be in the back. And
Did you see the charge?
And then you're gonna hear him from a distance. We're gonna be like, Tyler, you have to leave the table, and then you're just gonna hear.
So no,
away from the mic.
I'm just saying. I think that he does good numbers. I think his first album, he does good numbers. But I don't
breaks records for debut albums. 100%.
I don't think that. You would have to look up what the highest number for a debut album
Billie
is.
Eilish.
I don't think she holds that record.
I think she does for first week.
I'm pretty sure she does.
All time, like we looked up all time. It's
Drake
not even close.
Drake has released
Guns N' Roses
800,000 records first week.
Not his debut album. There's only one debut album that you can release, Tyler.
Yeah, what's Drake's
If
first
you ask
studio
Jack
album?
Harlow? No.
Listen, Jack Harlow's wrong. That's crazy.
No, I'm just saying Jack Harlow has three albums, but
so far gone would be Drake's debut album.
A debut album is your studio record label album.
It's your first
record label, like your first signed album.
Yeah.
Like I could release 5 albums right now, and then
feel like
my debut album wouldn't be until like Death Row or
Tyler's about to be
Universal releases. My
Drake's first debut album is Nothing Was the Same. Don't at me. It's that's it.
So far gone as this.
Why did he just make that face?
Okay,
I don't. That or Take Care, one of the two. I'm not sure.
That's the face I imagine.
Nothing was the same.
That's the face I imagine Tyler making in my head when he's wrong.
There's a lot of things to consider with this Drake album. I think the biggest criticism of the album is that it all sounds the same. It all blends together a lot. But I feel like Drake has kind of been running albums through the same formula for like 4 or 5 albums now.
Yes.
Because if it's not like, broken, don't fix it. Like you said, this nigga can burp and they'll listen to it.
This is true. But I think that there is a valid criticism to say that you can say whatever you want about growth as an artist or versatility, and you don't always need to be the most versatile artist to be successful or anything like that. But I think that there is going to be a point one day, probably in the next album or two, that people, I don't want to say are going to like turn on Drake, because people are not going to turn on Drake, but people are going to get sick of it. Eventually, Drake is going to have to switch up from making a bunch of similar songs and then having 1 or 2 pop cuts on an album and then waiting a few years. It has already started to go stale, and you've seen that with how people have criticized this album, and I think he's going to have to change up the formula a little bit on the next one.
We'll see what Drake cares about then, right? Because if he runs the same formula and gets the same numbers or better numbers, then why would he change the formula?
This is true.
Or if he's seeing the criticisms and more criticisms pop up, does he care about the content of his music or does he care about the numbers of his music? We'll see.
You know what I think we should close with? Because we haven't talked about it yet.
What?
How Trippie Redd used the same song.
We talked about it literally the last episode.
No, we didn't.
Yes, we did.
I thought we did, but we can go over it again.
I listened to it the other day. You definitely said it in the same exact way that you just said that.
Sorry, it's still a valid criticism. The last Trippie Redd album that just came out. I don't recall the title of it, but I did listen to it a few times.
It's called Ditto.
That's funny.
Was not super impressive to me. None of Trippie Redd's discography has really spoken to me. I know he has a lot of dedicated fans, and I have nothing against you for being a fan of him, and I have nothing against him as an artist, but I do think that Trippie Redd has been very one note and kind of underwhelming to me. There's some songs where he can pop through and really give a good performance, and I really enjoy some songs in his discography, but overall I feel like Trippie Redd is kind of a one-trick pony.
You know what?
That's
I like
fair.
that pony.
I'm not saying it's a bad horse. I'm just saying
then he should stop releasing albums and just be a feature on somebody's song.
I'm not even saying that.
He would be a good feature artist, honestly.
He is a great feature artist. He is very fun features, but when it comes to sitting through a whole hour and a half of Trippie Redd and every song on the album, or at least the vast majority the vast majority of the album is made off of the same 2 or 3 sample loops running through a different pitch of synth, it gets old.
Yeah, really fast. Is that what you wanted to hear?
Yeah, it's satisfying to hear other people say it.
Okay, good.
So
if you guys were going to have any sport where you would let the athletes do steroids, which one would you choose?
Baseball.
I agree with baseball. We need something to make it watchable.
And they need to cut down either the length of the season or the length of the games, because I don't know,
wrestling.
7-inning games.
What type of wrestling are you talking? Like pro
Olympic
wrestling, if you count that,
No,
or
Olympic
what type
wrestling.
of Olympic wrestling? Like freestyle or like Greco-Roman?
Don't care. I just
both?
want to see strong dudes throw each other.
What about hockey?
No.
I'd be okay with watching hockey players do
done.
it, but I don't think it needs it. They need to stop breaking up the fights as quickly. I mean, I understand them doing that, but that's
get
half
some
of
dude
what
with
draws
roid rage.
people to
Mark,
hockey
I want you to know
in the first place, is that they fight and it's kind of a wild sport.
NFL players can run up to 20 miles per hour. Hockey players skate at like 30. Imagine a steroided up hockey player. He's skating at like 40 and he's going to kill someone.
That would make me watch hockey more.
Players look at hockey like 2 decades ago.
Yeah, and niggas were dying.
And it was fun to watch.
It was fun to watch.
Damn right, Phil.
We should hold MMA fights in the Coliseum. They should repair
They're
the Coliseum.
doing the Coliseum again.
Yeah,
there's
I watched
been
the
large
video.
plans
Really?
about revamping the Coliseum to its original like architecture.
Yeah, putting in like the same seats and everything, like straight, and they're gonna hold events there. And I think it'd be really cool to have a UFC fight there because
That would be bananas.
It is the modern.
Oh yeah, if somebody ruins everything. You can't have anything go off.
How do you think it would be ruined?
Because people are shitty.
Yeah, HR, please weigh in on this.
They're going to revamp it, and then somebody's going to do something stupid and ruin it for everybody, and they're going to have to shut it all down again. It's going to take a week max. If they're really going to do this, it's going to take a week for some spectator.
Fuck up a stone building?
I don't know, man. When there's a will, there's a way. People are animals.
1, there's a will, there's a way. And 2, they're already having to like shut down certain parts of it because tourists are like trying to take pieces of it and like chip away at it and carve into the building.
But that's different. It's different because it's not a stadium right now.
Right, but when they revamp it and they're going to use it and they open it back up to everybody, somebody's going to fuck it up.
No one's going to be able to take stuff from it. It'd be like a modern stadium. You wouldn't be able to take stuff from it. They have security.
I agree with Xavier because you have like if it's in use, like just how like
and they even
you can break into the Brown Stadium. Some guys on TikTok did it.
So
like,
wait, are we
but
talking
they wouldn't
about
have been able to take shit from it because as soon as you see some dude with an orange seat walking out the Brown Stadium, 9 cops are gonna jump him.
No, because they did that to the Municipal Stadium.
That was after they closed it down.
No, it was literally during the game.
Where?
During the last game in the Municipal Stadium.
Yes, the last game.
But it wasn't closed yet.
But Mark, it's the last game. They don't care. Why would I care? I'm not about to use it anymore. Like,
Right.
but now if I'm using it, if it's something that like you're to hold Olympic Games or something, in you're going to take care. You're gonna take care of. You're gonna make sure that
we're talking about
okay.
the Coliseum in Italy, right?
Yes,
the Coliseum.
No, the other one down the road.
I
Mark.
like
Yes, that one.
Coliseum. There's a lot of Coliseums.
He thought that we were talking about the Rose Bowl, Rose Bowl Stadium.
No, we're talking about the Coliseum in Rome, and that Coliseum. Yes,
And that would be cool because that architecture is cool as fuck.
Tourists are going to do stupid shit. They
And
are
they're gonna
doing
fucking
stupid
get
shit.
dogged.
But
They're going to get put on a T-shirt.
Jesus.
Like they're not gonna be fucking around. The penalty now for taking stuff from the Coliseum is basically getting beheaded. Like you get dogged, you get fined, you get thrown in jail, and then you get penalized for not paying your fines while you're in jail. Like they dog you. If that stadium is in use, one, they're gonna fix the south side because the reason that stadium even fell apart was because only the north side was put into bedrock. The other one is on like soft loamy clay. So like earthquakes dogged it.
What was that word again?
Loam?
Loam.
Loam is a type of soil, Mark.
I know.
Tis
I just wanted to
indeed.
hear him say it again.
Loamy clay.
Loamy clay.
And so it like fell apart. And the only reason that the stadium is still standing is because all the popes that have been there since Catholicism made its way into Rome have wanted that side of the stadium to stay up. So it's not just a field when they do their parades.
If we are electing a new pope anytime soon or like somewhere in the future, they should let him fight for it.
I think they
in the Coliseum.
Yeah.
No, I would
Let
say
a
they
lion
need to
loose.
go. I think they need to have a younger pope and like
I agree with
more
that.
progressive pope.
Okay, but you're asking a
wouldn't even
group
say
of
more
very old
progressive.
men to pick a young person to do
I
something.
think Lil Nas X
Yeah.
should be the Pope.
I don't think so
disagree.
because he's too much of a shitlord.
That'd be really
Perfect.
fun.
I think
Fits the
I-
religion.
I agree with taking these positions of authority, whether it be the Pope or
How is it even
any
authority?
government. Because
He
is
does.
the Pope not a position of authority?
Not much anymore.
No,
Yes.
it still is.
It
It
is a
still
crazy
is.
position
It
of
is
authority. Mark,
still
what are you
is.
Strongly
talking
disagree.
about?
Mark, you're
You don't live in the Vatican.
smoking dicks.
A lot of people don't live in the
Yeah,
Vatican.
a lot of people don't
and he
live in the
still
Vatican.
has
But no, that's what I'm
influence
saying. But,
over
like,
all these people.
He's still.
The Pope is the Pope.
Italy
Mark.
gave up land so the
Okay.
Vatican could have.
I'm about
its
to say
own.
they gave up an entire city so that way the Pope could do
Crazy.
whatever he
They
wanted
can
to
be
do.
in charge of that city.
They're not. Literally.
So
Mark,
you're just telling me Lil Nas X would become the mayor of the Vatican? Who
yeah, that'd be
cares?
cool. Mayor.
Yes.
Mayor. He would be
the Pope.
the Pope.
Yeah, who is the mayor of the Vatican?
He's not the mayor.
He's not just the
Sorry.
mayor
Mark,
of the
he's the
Vatican.
Pope.
Mark,
The president
Mark.
of the Vatican.
He's not the president. He's
the
the
direct
Pope.
communication between the Lord and his followers.
no,
He's the fucking Pope.
The Pope,
He's not just the mayor.
The Pope are the phones that are in the White House and the fucking what is it called in Moscow? The Kremlin.
Yeah.
Like, he's the phones to the Lord.
Like the Pope holds very high regards. I know you may think I agree with you that it's kind of stupid that he holds so much power and he legit doesn't do anything, but he still holds power.
If you're mad
Holds
you
a
can't
lot
talk
of
to
power.
God, just say that.
I'm about to say, hey, like
If you're mad that God isn't banging your line at 2 a.m, you can say that.
When you get that you up text from Mary got that you up text.
Hey, Mary was the first Pope. She brought God into the world.
But technically, it's Peter.
She caught the first pipe, but
Jesus named the first pope, though,
No.
Peter.
which is Peter.
Peter was the first Pope.
Yes.
He was soft.
Yeah, Peter's a rabbit now, nigga. I don't care about him.
But no,
Let me get a bag chaser. Why not Judas? Why was he?
I agree. Like some
Wait a minute.
some seats of power.
Okay, cool.
Some seats of power
Bet.
probably should get a little bit younger. I wouldn't be too crazy if some seats of power were I wouldn't think it would be crazy if, like, let's say the president, like if we start electing the president at younger years, like let's say 30,
Too bad that's
25,
never going to happen.
something like that.
It'll
Well, yeah,
never
because
happen. But
in
Tyler,
the
if-
Constitution, you have to be 34. 34.
But
35,
Tyler,
34,
listen.
35.
If you had Senate elect,
You have to be 30 to be elected.
no, say
27.
if the Senate picked the president, not the people, right?
We-
The president would look a
terrible.
lot like the people who look like the senators,
Mark, the
right?
president
already
looks
is.
a lot
Right,
like the
and
A
senator.
ton of old people are in the
Ex-
Senate, and who runs America?
Exactly.
Old people.
So why are you going to ask a bunch of old ass cardinals to elect a younger person?
That's
Because
what I'm
it's not
saying.
going
Let
to
them
happen.
fight for it.
That'd be fun.
I don't care what they choose to fight, whether it's
Hey.
trial by combat or they did Yahtzee. I don't care. I don't care if it's the end of 8 Mile and they're fucking rapping against each
what would
other.
you do-
Let them compete.
What would you do if you woke up to the new Pope being elected and there was like a whole bunch of like old white dudes like blah 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 and they're like they voted in Judah and then you're like who the fuck is Judah
And it's Mario Judah.
Well, to be,
Just the whole
All right.
stadium
Is-
goes
On
dark.
that note,
Hi, Mr. Ray.
all right, listen,
Hold
listen. All right, guys, listen. I think this is a perfect place to stop because y'all are on some garbage, and I don't want to hear you talk.
I live
anymore.
on
I was
garbage,
gonna say
Mark.
good podcasts are on garbage.
Listen, look us up on Spotify. Look us up on
Spotify?
on the.
We have
no,
Spotify now.
Actually, not on Spotify. We're not.
Yeah,
on
we're not
Spotify.
bougie yet.
Don't look us
I
up
wish-
on Spotify.
SoundCloud.
There's gonna be some other nigga with the
YouTube.
name that we stole from them. No, we didn't.
No.
We're still not.
Don't give them praise.
SoundCloud,
From us.
YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. We got a Twitter, right? Facebook.
We don't post shit
not
on
have
Twitter.
Facebook.
I'm gonna get the Twitter account thingy. I'm just gonna start liking ebony porn like the one UFC fighter did. And then
Oh
we're gonna
my
get
God.
we're gonna get doxxed.
That's-
All right.
So funny.
Meet us. We're dropping every Wednesday night, so be on the lookup. Put post noties on. You know what it is.
If
Thank you for sitting with us on our OBP podcast.
Yeah, if you don't have post notifications on, I'll dox you. I'll like find your house, trace your IP, and I'll hit you with a steel pipe.
Yeah, you're soft. I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
Don't make me pull up on you.
Please don't.
Vote Mario Judah for Pope. Thanks for kicking it with us, y'all.